So Living Walls, it's an interdisciplinary participatory display we created over a period of about 12 months.
It's a prototype, so we didn't know what to expect from it. We didn't know how people would react.
I actually didn't expect the project to go this well, to be honest. And hearing the feedback we got, it was very refreshing to hear.
I think it just changed people because it did just start that conversation about future living. It got people to start thinking about, okay, how can I start to rearrange these things? How could I use something like these walls for future houses? And yeah, it just led off to that bigger conversation too about, do I enjoy where I'm living? How can I make it better in the future?
I think the idea of tiny houses is kind of a bit of the future, what I also see in Austria, not only Australia, because Austria is also kind of a very intense housing, like expectations of life. It's always towards having your own house, your own garden. But the problem is space. We don't have it, and tiny houses would kind of solve this kind of problem. It might be the best solution. So I think the idea of your ideal home could be also in a small place. Why not?
Something that actually is always on my mind. I stopped buying stuff in general, buying second-hand, upcycling my own stuff, learning how to sew, stuff like that. So it is part of my sort of general thinking, although it's hard.
Actually, in Korea, I'm from Korea, so many people have the same problem with small spaces. So it's kind of mutual, problem.
Actually, in Tokyo, there's too many people, so we have to move local place. So tiny houses, I can't say good or bad, but I was very tired when I lived in my small house in Tokyo, so now it's a little bit negative.
I think it was a personal expectation that I already live in quite a small space, so I thought that this would be like kind of an easy endeavor. But it was like harder to imagine like how you would like use all this space and like what would be the best way of using this space.
The modularity of everything is really interesting. How it makes you think of how big a thing is really interesting. Like, man, a fridge is that size, didn't know that. But like, I know that, but you don't think about it. Every day you just go to the fridge, open the door, close the door. The couch as well, you sit on it, you don't think about its footprints in your room. So this block system makes you see like, wow, the surface area and things like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, the first thing that came into my mind is when I chose the furniture and everything is how can I make it, what do I really need for my life? Like I need a huge fridge because I love cooking, but I don't need a huge stove. I don't, do I need 2 sinks or do I just need one and I can share with bathroom and kitchen? And to have more space for, I don't know, lying on the floor or anything, because I kind of love that. Or I would see my kids doing that, you know, like need space on the floor as well. So I think that is something that really has to be thought thoroughly through. How can you use and reuse things or double use it, or who is living in a tiny house? Because I don't believe in tiny houses like you would do like a series kind of, so you have to individualize those houses as well. So
I appreciate this project, I want to say, because micro house and micro home is a really interesting approach for people, of course, to save place, but also to not be surrounded just with everything what actually they don't need, what the consumerism gives you.
And we always have this innate desire to just keep things because we think, oh, we might need it later. I mean, yeah, some people hoard more, some people hoard less, but everyone has that base level of, I shouldn't throw this away because I might need it. If we can get to post-scarcity and no longer are in fear of, oh, do I need this, do I need that, then you could get to a point where I'm not going to worry about having to keep things. If I don't have to keep things, then I wouldn't worry about giving it away or discarding it or giving it to friends or putting it into the community or such. So I think scarcity is a big issue to tackle in terms of living smaller.
Like we talked about earlier, the communal spaces really open up a lot of possibilities, I guess. Like if you were to live in this like big complex with like just like smaller sleeping and eating like rooms, I guess. There you could easily like use the like communal facilities of the structure, I guess. So like eating rooms or like kitchens or like washing spaces like to wash your clothes and like studying. I don't know, like library stuff, and yeah. So that kind of that would make sense to me, like to do it like that, because if you're like in a community, for me personally, it would be nice to be like around people too. So I wouldn't really need my own space to be that big. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I would see it. So.